Hey everybody, this is Bridgette Raes and I'm back with another stylish tip for you. Before we get into any stylish tips, you know I always like to share what I have been knitting. So let's get to that first. This week, I'm going to share something that I think is really important and wonderful, and I'm really happy to be involved in it. So you know there are the bushfires in Australia, and I think a lot of us feel really powerless in what we can do. They're tragic, and people have lost lives. Animals are losing their life, their homes. So I was referred to this group on Facebook called Rescue Craft Co. So Rescue Craft Co. And it is an initiative of crafters out there who are creating wildlife pouches. They're crocheting birds' nests. They are creating joey pouches for baby kangaroos. And it's amazing. So I'm not a crocheter, but I am a knitter. And I am currently knitting what's going to be a wildlife pouch. So these pouches, when this is knit, it's going to be just a little square once it's longer that wildlife who have been displaced can be kept in as they're healing or as they've been rescued. And as far as I'm concerned, no matter what I was working on, I just stopped everything, grabbed my yarn that was required for the pouches, and I started knitting. And I'm going to knit as many of these pouches as I can, and I'm going to send them to Australia to the address. I will share a link to the group in the description below. So if you're a knitter or a crafter or a sewer, or even if you're not, you can pass this on to someone who hasn't gotten involved in this initiative. I just think if we can figure out a way to do something during these tragic bushfires in Australia, I think coming together as a world to take care of our Australian cousins down there and its wildlife, I think is just a small thing we can do to show our support. So that is what I've been knitting. I'm all about knitting wildlife pouches right now. So I'm really excited about that. So now we're going to get into the stylish tip this week. So this week I'm not going to be answering a question. I'm going to start sharing what I call stylish Bridgetteisms. So stylish Bridgetteisms are terms that I came up with that I used when I started working with clients, and I had to explain a concept to a client in a way that they would understand. Because the biggest obstacle for me when I started working as a personal stylist from being a fashion designer for 10 years was realizing that people process information differently. So how can I get a concept across in a way that is very clear for everyone? And these different Bridgetteisms, as I call them, kind of started to just started to roll off my tongue, and then they started to stick, and I use them in my blogs, and now sometimes I hear them back to me from readers of my blogs or clients who hire me and know me, and they'll use these Bridgetteisms back to me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so incredible to see how useful and practical some of these Bridgetteisms can be. So I have a whole bunch of them, and this week I want to talk about one of my favorites, which is splitting your wares. Now, in most cases, I know the origin story of every Bridgetteism I have come up with. And for some reason, I cannot remember where this concept came from. Like, where was I when it happened? I'm sure I was with a client and I was trying to explain a concept. I just can't remember which client it was or what the experience was, which in most cases of my stylish Bridgetteisms, I actually know it right down to the client I was working with, where I was, what year it was. And this one, I don't know where, I don't remember it. So it kind of bums me out. So if you're a blog reader or you're a client, you know this term of splitting your wares. And splitting your wares is really a term to describe when you have oversaturation in your closet. So basically, splitting your wares means to have too much of the same in your closet that is serving the same function. So I'll give you an example of that. If you have 7 black dresses, but you only really need one black dress in your life. That need for a black dress gets spread over 7 different dresses, and therefore the value of each dress diminishes, right? Because if you had one dress and every time you needed a black dress, you wore that black dress, you would obviously wear it more often. So basically, the less you have of an item that serves a function in your closet, the more use that piece will get and therefore have more value. So that's what it means to split your wares. So you have your wares and you're splitting them over more things versus less. So the thing to keep in mind is this isn't just about duplication, right? It's not just about having 7 black dresses or 15 pairs of black pants. It's about pieces that play a similar role. So let's use another example. Let's say you have 20 sweaters in your closet. Doesn't matter what they look like, they're just 20 different casual sweaters. And for work, you have a more professional dress code, so you really can't wear these sweaters to work. And there's only like 8 weekends in a month. So you're splitting your wares, you're splitting your need for casual sweaters over 20 sweaters versus less. So the less you have, the more you'll wear something and the more use it will get. So an example I can give you to explain this is to think about businesses. And in my blog, I wrote about this, about in my neighborhood over the past 15 years or so, we have just gotten inundated with nail salons. And it seems that anytime a store or a business closes, a nail salon pops up. So if you were someone looking to start a business in my neighborhood, it wouldn't be smart to open another nail salon. The customer base is spread so thin among all these different nail salons that it's hard to make any money back on your venture. But if you were a nail salon starting and you were the first one in town, obviously that need for your nail salon would be much greater. So that's how I want you to think about splitting your wares. I want you to think about, if you want to get more value from things, do you have too much saturation in your closet of things that are doing the same thing? And as a result, are you splitting your wares? So that's a very easy tip. Splitting your wares is one of my Bridgetteisms. Feel free to use it. It can come in really handy. And I will be back next week with a brand new stylish Bridgetteism to share with you. Hey guys, don't forget to subscribe to this video, clicking right to your right side so you can get updated when I have a new video for you to watch. Also, be sure to follow me on social media at Bridget Raes on Pinterest, Instagram, as well as Twitter. And on Facebook, it's Bridget Raes Style Expert. Also, I am linking to my Facebook group, which is a closed community. Would love to have you. I just want to let you know that we do have a small subscription fee to be a part of the group. And just so you know what we do with that revenue made, the revenue is used to offset some of the costs of me being involved in the group. And the other half is used to support different fashion related organizations and charities. So we give half of the revenue earned through Facebook group subscriptions, and every month we select a different charity or organization to give half of the revenue earned through the subscriptions and the group. So I do hope you'll join us. Click the link below for more information. It's a fantastic, wonderful community of supportive women who are waiting to help you with whatever style challenge you are dealing with. And I really hope to see you there.